All right, good morning, everybody. What's going on? Happy Friday, December 18th, 7:30 a.m. My name is Amol. I'm here to do your morning Bitcoin, altcoin, crypto analysis. Lots has happened in the market. We've broken through 20,000, broken through 22, 23. Now we're kind of just moving sideways, right? So I'm going to discuss all the things regarding what's happening in crypto, where the potential opportunities are to either buy or sell or long or short Bitcoin from my standpoint. Again, I will not be offering financial advice in this video. It is purely for entertainment purposes. But in our community, as you can see right here, people love looking at my analysis, reading my analysis, and at the end of the day, they read my analysis and they make their own decisions. And so far, the decisions that they make based on my analysis have been doing pretty well, as you can see, right? So the point is, our community comprises of a ton of members from all over the world, from different fields, from different age groups. All right. And we have males and females as well. The one thing that I'm proud of is we've maintained a community that likes to look at good analysis with good foresight, not just buy and sell signals like any other, Twitter account or Discord group or anything like that. Okay. We are here to learn. We're here to play the game for the long haul. And we're treating this thing like a job, like a marathon, rather than, a lotto ticket or treating it like gambling. All right. So if you're here and wanting to learn about how to trade financial markets, especially the crypto markets, and you want to learn how to trade Bitcoin and altcoins, and you have not been able to do so successfully, okay, go to our website, thealphatrades.com, try out our Advantage membership. This membership right here, the Advantage membership, gives you access to all the lock channels that you see right here, okay? As you can see, the traditional altcoins, the Bitcoin channels right here. We have a indicator right here as well. That's our proprietary indicator that we built out, which kind of looks like this, all right? As you can see, this is our indicator as well that we provide analysis in, but all the Advantage membership channels are right here in the lock channels, okay? So if you are interested, it's $97 a month. Personally, I don't think it's a lot of money for the amount of work that we do. So if you're wondering what the advantages are, when you do join, you can come check this out, the weekly schedule. We have written analysis updates through the day for Bitcoin and altcoins. And again, that's only for Advantage members. And then we have morning Zoom analysis sessions. All right. So live Zoom sessions that I post the recordings of every single morning, or evening times as well, which is, 10 to 12 hours from now, that I post another video. So at the beginning of my day and the end of my day, you get to see both sides of the analysis. And this is to cover people who are either in the US or Asia or Africa or Australia, anywhere in the world, really. So you can be up to date with my analysis every single day. And pretty much, every single time that there's something meaningful happening in the crypto markets. All right. Anyway, so hope you'll come join. The other part of this Advantage membership is, you can actually just test out the Advantage membership by purchasing this course. It's only $20 right now. It's a technical analysis course. So if you want to learn how we go about trading the market with our technique and skills, you can buy this course right here only for $20. And then you can get 7 free days in the Advantage membership, which is this private Discord community. All right. So if you buy it, join our Discord. There's a link below in the YouTube description. And then shoot me a message. All right. I'm usually always just hanging out right here. That's me. All right. Till then, let's get started. So we're going to be discussing Bitcoin from the smaller timeframes to the larger timeframes. We're going to go over some heat map data right here. We'll also talk about what we're seeing in terms of pivot levels in Bitcoin. We'll talk about the CME charts. We'll talk about the GBTC charts, and then we'll talk about some altcoins. All right. So let's get to it. All right, 15-minute chart. Here's something simple that I see on the 15-minute chart, okay? What I see is, yesterday, this candle opened, which is the Thursday open right here. And then this is the Thursday low right here, all right? What we're seeing right now is price bounce from the low. And right now, it's just hovering right on the open, as you can see, right? It's come back and tapped that open multiple times. So there's something about this open right here where Bitcoin likes to come back and gravitate to for some odd reason. We never really will know the intention of why things like this happen. But what we do know is once something like that happens, it's probably time you want to be paying attention. Okay. So at this particular level, one can look at this as a potential buying opportunity right here as price continues to bounce off the open. Or if you want to be a buyer, you could be buying, right around this pivot right here. The 15-minute pivots, this one right here, right around $22,650. Okay. If you want to be a buyer at this pivot, just know that, there's a whole lot of chop going on. But once again, if you focus on the larger trend of the market, right, here's what's happened. Okay. We've had a monumental breakout of the 20,000 high, right? And we've broken it with pretty high volume. Like if you look at the volume right here, I mean, this is some pretty solid volume. So what that should tell you is, okay, well, Bitcoin is obviously going to maybe consolidate right here. Maybe it might retrace a bit. But then if you're a buyer, in my opinion, that's probably the better side to be on the market because you're basically buying, either the pullback on the breakout or you're buying into this consolidation right here, which kind of looks like, maybe a bull flag, if you will, like that. And that to me is, the way to go. Why? Because if you're looking at the trend in the market overall for the last several months, right, it's consistently been up and up and up and up and up. Even in our advantage community, we have not really taken a single short for the last, since back here, since I closed out of my short back here. So around beginning of October or so, we've not really taken a short. Okay. Now, that's not because, we're uberly bullish on the market or anything as such. It's just that the market is very clear in defining its trend sometimes. It's almost a sin if you don't follow the trend that the market is clearly showing you, because the worst thing to do is you bet against the trend and then you get completely washed and completely screwed. And you don't really want to be on the wrong side of the trend because more often than not, you just kind of get wiped out and you'll keep losing your capital over and over again. So be on the right side of the trend and know that when the trend starts to turn, you will have opportunities to get out. But so far, so good, right? The trend is still continuing up. You don't have to time the top. You don't have to worry about what if it just dumps and what if we go straight to 16. Generally, markets don't work like that. Okay, there's usually signs of weakness. There's usually, multi-day, multi-week breakdowns. Maybe sometimes on a monthly basis, you might see something going wrong or awry in the monthly candle. But so far, so good, right? We just had a breakout of the 20,000 high right here with high volume. So I personally see every single thing around here, or even if we retrace, as a buying opportunity. Now, if you're thinking that, okay, well, I don't really want to buy this high, I've stated over and over again in my videos that if you are struggling with trying to identify a price level to buy at, stop focusing on the price level. Okay, see this right here? This doesn't mean anything. Okay, just because Bitcoin was at 18,000 2 weeks ago and now it's at 22, it doesn't matter. You have to focus on the value of the technicals. Okay, and the value of the technicals are telling you this, right? We had a big triangle developing, kind of like this, okay, and then that broke out to the upside, pretty violent breakout, right? And then after that, we not only broke out above a key triangle marker, the key high over here, but we broke out over the previous all-time high with high volume. So things like this should be taken into consideration when looking at what exactly has happened and changed in the landscape of technicals. So in my opinion, anything around here or even retracements should be buying opportunities, because unless this is going to be a fake out, like let's just say this thing is a fake out and you start dumping to the downside, I mean, again, it's possible, but the chances of that are kind of slim. Okay. So, again, instead of worrying about what could possibly happen in terms of dumping on the market, you should think about, wait a second, we just had this triangle breakout. We just had 20,000 break. We had high volume breakout on the upside. I want to be a buyer in this market. I want to long the technicals. I don't want to long the price. I want to long the retracements because I see a good breakout. All right. Now the breakouts could come back to key levels, right? So let's keep an eye on some levels we can watch. So for example, we have this R4 level, kind of struggling around here, as you can see, around the R4 level, right? These are just simple pivots that map out support and resistance levels. It's pretty simple. There's no, crazy amount of math or genius required to understand how these pivot levels work. It's just simply mapping out support and resistance levels as per previous historical price action, or you could, extend the price up with fibs. Okay, so right now what the price is kind of showing you is, okay, well, it seems like price is slowly hovering around this area. And so what then, right? Well, I think from here, you can start paying attention to some fib levels or even pivot levels that we have. So the 15-minute pivot currently lies around $22,650 or so. So you can be a buyer right there as well, okay? Or you could be a buyer around this low, which is a Thursday low, all right, which is around $22,500. So there's many different ways you can go about this price action, how you want to either be a buyer, or if you want to short, you can have your stop above this area or above here or here or here. But personally, I don't think it's wise to short the market. Again, just my 2 cents, okay? So I talked about, this pivot area. If you think that we're going to break down further and you want to be a buyer somewhere lower, well, the R3 level is around $21,780. The other way to look at the market, if you want to look at it from a technical perspective, like a footprint data or that kind of perspective, let's see, right? So let's do this. Okay, let's go to the daily. All right. So on the daily basis, here's kind of what we have. All right. We have price hovering around 22,645. Okay. Some of the high clustered areas where price could potentially come back to is this one right here. And then this one right here. Okay. Why do we pick these areas? Well, this is where a lot of activity took place. Now, if I zoom in, I'll show you guys exactly what happened, right? So if you look at this area, look, there's a lot of activity that happened around here. 447 BTC buy, 300 Bitcoin buy, 386, 400, 280. All these were buys, big cluster of buying. And then even selling happened here. 358, 299, 277, 288. So when you have a high volume area like that in these white boxes, price generally may come back and gravitate to that point if it's going to break down. Again, that's if it's going to break down. So if it's going to break down around this area, then it's possible that from here, it may bounce back up. If it doesn't, then it's going to go back to the next higher clustered area, which is down here. This area right here is around 20,550 all the way up to about 20,875. This box right here is around 21,600 to about 21,950. Okay, so if you want to focus on these high clustered areas for potential buying opportunity, that's also something you can do. Okay, there's many different ways where you can go about, price action like this. There's no right or wrong way. There's no way to, understand if price is going to pull back more or if it's just going to keep running up like this, like a running flag and start breaking out. Because here's the thing, when price is very bullish, okay, it does not give you that many opportunities to buy deeper retracements. In fact, sometimes what it does is it, keeps having these kinds of higher lows, and it just starts pushing up and up and up. It does not, give you deeper retracements down. Rather, it has running retracements like this right here. So you get a big move to the upside, and then you kind of get like a running flag like this. And these are extremely bullish because what they're effectively saying is, all right, well, the buyers are continuously buying and buying and buying and buying. It's not like there's a vacuum of buying activity or anything, because if there was, price would dump down further. But that's not happening. Price, in fact, keeps running higher and higher and higher with higher lows like this. And I personally think that is maybe what we're seeing right now. I guess it's possible from here we pull back a little bit more because prices ran up so much, but don't count on it, right? Like you shouldn't be betting on, okay, we have to retest 20,000 and then we start pushing up and out. The price doesn't really have to do that, like I said, because when things are extremely bullish, I mean, it doesn't really have to retrace that much lower. It could just kind of pop up from here, okay? In terms of, let's see here, right? So let's look at a couple of things. Okay, let's look at volume. All right. Okay, and let's look at the OBV. So what we have here in the OBV is a decent amount of higher lows right here. So this is a good sign, all right, because you have good buying activity pushing the price up. Okay. And obviously we had, good buying presence show up in the OBV kind of like from back here and up and up and up. So this is another good sign that you could see buyers showing that they have follow through to the upside. What OBV generally tells you is the delta, meaning the net buying over net selling. So when you see OBV ticking up like this, well, that means that there's more buyers focused on buying and they're overcoming the sellers in the market. Okay. Let's check out 4-hour. 4-hour RSI, obviously, a little bit overbought, coming back down a little bit. But, the thing about RSI is it could stay in this territory for a little while. All right. That's just, how momentum works in aggressively bullish trends. Okay. So if you want to be keeping an eye on that, it's possible that RSI keeps trending up here. Maybe it's possible that it breaks down, but like I said, it's not necessary that we have to break down much further. Okay, let's talk about CME, right? So on the CME chart, again, we've made some pretty significant bullish movements. It's possible that we may make our way down here to cover this gap. There's some gaps left behind here and here. Again, I don't know if we're going to make it down here because that would be like $18,600. And that would kind of put this trend in peril because once you break out of, a consolidation like this, you generally don't want to come back that deep. So it's very possible that from here, if we retrace, maybe we trace some of this gap and then start making our way up and out. And that gap on the CME is anywhere between 21.4 and down to 21,000 flat. Okay, so it's a good $300-400 gap. All right. Let's check out GBTC. Now, here's the thing about GBTC. Yesterday, we saw some very interesting activity. Okay, let me refresh this page. So GBTC, we saw some really interesting activity because what often happens is when you have institutions involved in something like GBTC, which is basically like an ETF, well, you get some weird and wonky leading price action. So for example, at GBTC, we saw yesterday's candle close down heavily with very high volume. So that should have told us that at least yesterday or the next 24 hours, we're going to have some shitty price action, right? And that's kind of exactly what happened. We're just right around here, 22.7, just chopping around, not doing a whole lot. So in this price action, you can be a little bit careful if you think that GBTC is going to pull down a little bit more. All right. And same thing, GBTC has pretty much a direct correlation with Bitcoin spot or Bitcoin perpetuals. All right. Let's focus on some altcoins, right? Here we see ETH. Obviously, it had its nice, strong breakout. But again, ETH did not push that much higher as I'd expected. It went way the heck up here around 675, but then closed down almost around 640. Good thing is it did not close down below this previous high. See, that would not have been good because what that would effectively say is if we close down here, like lower than this marker, this would have been a whole bearish SFP. And you do not want to deal with bearish SFPs when price is poked up so high and then it's made its way, back much lower, because that would be just a massive short squeeze. And then who knows, we might be trending down. right? So for now, things look good on the Ethereum front. From here, very possible that we just continue grinding higher and higher. And from ETH target standpoint, you know, I've talked about this in my previous videos. I don't see any reason why ETH, if it's really going to start breaking out, and again, we need to see this close on a weekly basis, right? We need to see a weekly candle close above this marker, which is around $620. Once we get a close above that, we should be aiming up here, around $800 at least, okay? Because I don't see any other way. Like if you're going from, you know, this level, well, you should be going to the highest, you know, next weekly level, which is this marker right here. All right. And then beyond that, you know, we could talk about $1,000 and whatnot. But for now, we should be talking about from, you know, 625, we should be breaking out and pushing towards 800. This weekly will close Sunday. So we have 2 more days. Anything can happen in 2 more days, folks. We can dump or we can push to, you know, 25,000 Bitcoin and $700 Ethereum. So, you know, just keep an eye on how things are going in the market. Be careful. Don't get too aggressive in the market. All right. Weekend shenanigans are also something that we have to unfortunately keep an eye on because, you know, weekends sometimes provide just shitty price action, low volume movement, and it just kind of becomes a little bit tougher to trade. So if you want to avoid that price action on the weekend time, that's also okay. All right. So I talked about, you know, the heat map footprint data right here, where you can look out for specific areas based on high clustered volume areas. I talked about key levels you can look out for from SR perspective. You know, talk about Ethereum. Let's talk about some more altcoins, right? Let's talk about Link. Okay, so Link over here. All right, so from a daily basis, you know, if we turn on the daily pivot, Link also struggled a bit right at this pivot marker. You know, the one thing that's worrying me a little bit is altcoins. They saw some massive pumps to the upside, but so far no follow through. So what you want to see either is BTC pushing up higher, which might indicate 2 things, okay? Maybe Bitcoin is going to be the one that pushes higher and altcoins, again, put in lower highs and go lower, which is okay with me. Or if BTC starts dumping or altcoins also start dumping, that means overall the market might get a pullback and there might be more profit taking, or there might be, you know, more retracements on the way down. Again, these are just possibilities of, you know, areas that one should look out for, you know, potential areas where you should be cautious about. But the thing is, you know, being aware of all the things that are possible helps you understand and be prepared and not be blindsided or surprised. Because the worst thing you can do is be in positions and not be able to map out levels and not be able to understand why is price action doing, you know, this crazy thing, or why is it going down, or, you know, why did it pop up so much, or what are the key levels I should be looking out for, right? Indicators, horizontal levels, all these things, they're never going to be perfect. Okay. There's no such thing as having a perfect indicator and the perfect level to buy, perfect level to sell. It's just not going to happen. The best you can do is apply all the clues, all the data, all the metrics that you have, whether it be indicators, your own technical knowledge, everything that you're looking at, and find out all the pros and cons that are showing you what are the higher probability outlooks, right? And so if you're seeing that, okay, well, this is maybe a clustered area, this is a nice low, price could bounce here, then this is an area to be buying. If it breaks through, well, then something went wrong, right? And that's okay. Maybe you calculated wrong. Maybe, you know, there's something else missing. Maybe price squeezes some more longs and then pushes back up. Any number of things can happen, but one should always be prepared, okay? Try not to get blindsided by the market. All right. Let me see here. So we talked about price action here. Yeah, so we have the pivot right here. Price just closed below that. Generally not a good sign. You don't want to see price closing below the pivot because remember, pivots are basically support and resistance levels, right? So if you're getting price to come down into a key support level, well, you should have it bounced from that area. Now, it's possible that the current candle that you're seeing maybe closes back up here and starts pushing higher. So the next level you want to watch for price to come back and close above is this marker right here, Thursday open. Okay, that's 22,821. Why? Because this was all support right here. So you do not want to see price not only close below this level, but you don't want to see price head down further, because that would probably imply that maybe we're going to sweep all these lows. And I don't know how good that's going to look, to be honest. Okay. From a daily perspective, we also have the pivot level right here around R2, which is $24,300. So if you're looking for a target to the upside, that could be a potential target. Above that, we have the R3 right here around 28,780, 33,138, and the final R5 target around 37,545. Obviously, these are very extreme high targets, and nor do I know if we're going to hit them in the month of December. But crazier things have happened. When price accelerates in BTC, it really just gets going, right? It does not give that many opportunities for buyers to step in. It just keeps going and going and going. Okay. All right. So I talked about Link. Let's talk about Wi-Fi as well. So the one thing about DeFi that I've noticed over the past couple of days is it's been stalling a little bit. Right, so I have my own list of DeFi blue chips right here. The DeFi perp, Aave, SNX actually did pretty well over the last 24 hours. It's up 10.5%. Band is down 2%. FLM is up 3.3%. Wi-Fi is up 2%. Link down, Uni down, Sushi down, or Sushi slightly up. So anyway, point is, Wi-Fi across the board, DeFi across the board is kind of iffy, right? It's like you don't really know where exactly to bet on, right? Or which coin to bet on. And if you don't know, sometimes you could also buy this DeFi perp. Okay, there's you could hop onto FTX, or Binance also has, this kind of DeFi USDT perp, where you basically get a basket of these, like Aave and FLM and Wi-Fi, Link, everything in the DeFi perp basket. So you don't have to, try to buy a lotto ticket on one that's going to break out. If the overall DeFi market is going to do well, DeFi perps is going to do well too. If half the market is doing okay, the other market is doing shitty, then this one is also going to balance that out. So it's basically like an ETF, if you will. Okay, it's a basket of coins. So yeah, with Wi-Fi, kind of chopping around this area, it's possible that maybe this is a failed head and shoulders pattern. And if we start breaking up and out of here, that to me is extremely bullish, because I've stated before that whenever we see, failed head and shoulders patterns, those are really strong, bullish reversal patterns. Because it's basically, what happens is, if you think about it, sellers tried to keep selling into this area in a head and shoulders pattern, but they were unable to break this right shoulder. So price actually kind of came like this and started to push up and out of here. So what really happened was sellers are now trapped selling this entire area, and price is now reversing. So those people right here, these guys down here, they're going to get squeezed out of the market. Everyone who sold right here is going to have to cover or go long. And that's why I say that, head and shoulders patterns like that are sometimes very bullish. All right. Not seeing anything on my Twitter feed, things to talk about. I know this DMARC signal has been being talked about quite a bit. We have, multiple DMARC signals. So remember, TD sequential, which is a demarcation exhaustion signal, is showing us that we have a monthly candle 9. We have a weekly 9. I think we have daily also reaching up towards like 11 or 12 or 13. So everything is kind of showing us that we have a potential exhaustion point. I don't really know if this is going to be the top and we're going to roll over, but demarcation points generally just mean that we might have a 1 to 4 candle correction, and then after that we could be on our way back towards the trend. Okay. All right. Make sure y'all follow me on Twitter if you haven't already, The Alpha Trades. All right. I post up a good amount of content. Sometimes I retweet some really smart people. Sometimes I post, nice threads like this if y'all want to read some of this, how you can not lose your money in bull markets, how you can keep your money, what you could do best to protect your gains, to reduce your risk, stuff like that. All right. That's it, folks. Hit the thumbs up if you do enjoy our content. I'd really appreciate it. We work very hard to provide free content for our Advantage members and for free YouTube members, I'm sorry. But the Advantage side is really where my attention, my energy, and my time goes. I spend, almost like 12 to 16 hours in here. Anyone in this community will tell you we have just a ton of people, a ton of really smart people talking about price action and, just really smart individuals willing to share their information, their analysis, whether it's altcoins or DeFi or Bitcoin. So I hope y'all join. There's a Discord link below. That's pretty much it. Y'all take care. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.